the same caliber of junglers who can gank, like a Nautilus or a Maokai. Because until level 6, yes, he has his Q, his seismic shot that can slow you down, but apart from that, he doesn't really have any CC until he hits the Unstoppable Force. So again, when he's hitting 6, Olaf should already be level 6, and it's going to be incredibly hard to actually lock him down and keep him in place to kill him. So again, Prothana's Olaf is making more and more sense the longer I think about it. So definitely interesting to find out what happens here in game number 2.
That being said, they had a lot of CC to try and force that ultimate from Olaf, and then what's that? I've just come in again, and we have a taunt. I have my ultimate still up, and then you've probably got Gale just to head in if he needs to. This is the thing, like, it's very difficult for Olaf. As soon as he's burst that ultimate, he has to be hella defensive against that sort of team setup.
Definitely, and I would be expecting to see Olaf taking a fairly tanky build here. Something like a Randuin's Omen, for example, would probably be feasible for him. Also, maybe something like a Shrelia's Reverie as well. I'm not too sure, but we are going to have the second pause here straight off the bat, so not too sure what's going, and my chat seems to be really bugged.
Maybe Dax is disconnected again.
Yeah, he did have issues in the first game. Of course, he was Alistair, and we're waiting about, I think it was 5 minutes for him to reconnect, so let's hope it's nothing like that.
Nice.
That's just giving us some information, some banter between the two teams. But okay, apparently they started talking Polish, so we can't really understand Polish. So we'd love to give you updates on what's going on, but we ourselves are completely clueless right now.
Team fight wise, and it's interesting because you have Kennen, you have Morgana, who could possibly both go for Zhonya's Hourglasses. So it's all a matter of who can get the Zhonyas down first before the wave of CC comes from Team Acer.
Yeah, definitely very interesting. Again, this is similar to game number 1. Okay, we're not going to have an import, there's great stuff there. But it's similar to game 1 that I think either team is down to the execution. Whoever plays better on the day is going to take this on. Both compositions are extremely strong in their own ways. It's just going to come down to those kind of split decisions and split plays, like we saw in game number 1. Was looking kind of backwards and forwards. At the beginning, it looked like Zuom were going to take it fairly comfortably as Malphite was getting pummeled at top, but then they came back and ended up taking that one with 2 very comfortable team fights right at the death of that game. So it's like a seesaw, just going backwards and forwards over and over again.
For sure, yeah, it's definitely the execution on this one. And I'm very interested to see how this one will go down. Honestly, I think the lanes will pay a lot into this, actually. And, oh, the Pulsefire Ezreal skin. Maybe that's why they picked him.
They're like, we don't really like Ezreal too much, but the Pulsefire Ezreal skin makes it worth it, so we'll just be picking him up this game. So, yeah, both teams are trying to group together, but the early aggression will definitely be coming out from Zuom here, going towards those big golems. No one's even close. As you can see, all of Team Acer just above their mid tower towards blue buff. So how's this one going to play off? You do have a lot of stealthy, kind of sneaky play from Zuom, but none of it's going to come good, as Team Acer are going to be more than content just to push to their blue. And Pucky Style and A's doing the smart thing here. They are going to be taking the long scenic route down to bot lane. Had they have walked through the Wraith Bush, they'd have got crippled in seconds. Here comes Malphite. Oh, perhaps they know what's going on. Of course, the ward was down. Here they come in. Dedrin has been tagged a couple of times. Beautiful. Shen Taunt comes in. That's going to be first blood to Galio. On to Nocturne. Can they pick up the second as well? Answer is looking like a no. They are going to be chasing after Dax, but don't think they'll be able to pick up that kill. And that right there is the strength of Ward's. Ward was on the race. They knew exactly what was going on. They pushed at the optimal time, picked up first blood.
And this is the thing, Nunu forced to go back, that's leaving Kennen alone for a significant amount of time. Soraka going to be in that lane 2 versus 1 for the foreseeable future. And that's kind of bad for Kennen, considering a lot of his strength is in that early game. Likewise Ezreal, actually. So we'll see how this goes down. Maybe they'll push the advantage at this early level.
Yeah, Nunu making his way slowly but surely. You're going to have a ping onto the blue, and it looks like Mama's just going to be helping off Dedri on that with the blue, leashing that one out for him. So yeah, once again, that kind of frenzy of farm, and you can see Candy Panda is being harassed so much here. Ezreal pushing him back to his tower, picking up the creep farm as well. So yeah, definitely doing a bit of damage to Candy Panda's farm, but nothing to write home about so far. Dax has came down, eats a Q and a W straight away from Pucky style, and that Blood Boil has been popped. So we were both thinking, or at least I was, that Kokomo will be picked up here, but how do you feel that Kennen works with the Nunu at bot lane?
Nunu amplifies your AD carry, basically, and considering Kennen is such a strong laner, he's really underrated and actually taking a lot of damage as we're talking about it. He's just a strong laner gets killed. But, yeah, this is the thing with Kennen. That will just make him even stronger in lane. I'm not sure about the synergy, though. I suppose it will speed him up and make him very difficult to gank, and it will help him get away from situations, but I'm not really seeing the synergy at the moment. Oh, actually, ultimate time. Talking about that. He locks them down with the Slicing Maelstrom, and Dax gets a perfect ultimate of his own up.
That's very, very true. It's just whether they can do that, because obviously Pucky style, he does have an arcane shift, so he can get out of dodge if he times it correctly, and it's just whether he gets stunned or not is the question. Either way, you can see that right now Acer are just pushing this bot tower so heavily, and of course with Soraka behind him as well, just feeding him that mana, feeding him the health as well, he's going to be allowed to spam away to his heart's content. Early creep farm is looking like it's going to be 19 to Ezreal and 16 to Kennen, but of course they are underneath that tower.
Yeah, this is the synergy basically between Soraka and Ezreal. Feed mana all day, and it's just arcane, it's basically Mystic Shot after Mystic Shot, and there's very little that Candy Panda can do about it. He can harass it on his own, but he needs... I don't know, it's very difficult for him. He's got slightly longer range and he can get in range with that Blood Boil, but that early game kind of hit him quite hard, and I don't think he can actually win this lane.
Oh, we're going to have an engage here onto Kelva on Galio. Moma being very, very aggressive. I think he actually popped his Ignite. Yes, he did that. So Ignite was used on towards Kelva, who has very little health and mana remaining. So he's going to go ahead and blue pill back to spawn again. Picks up the Chalice of Harmony. Of course, such a good item for Galio in mid because of the magic resistance, and also, of course, because of that mana regen per 5 seconds. How is top lane looking at the moment? Olaf against Shen. Currently Shen on 22, Olaf on 22, so it is dead even. Could not be any closer, but here comes Dedrian round the backside, taunting away. Will 760 needs to be careful in that bush though, because here comes Unspeakable Horror, and this taunt has already been used. Ignite's down as well. He's going to get taken out, face checking that bush without a ward. Not the smartest of plays, and perhaps they have signaled and they've kind of marked 760 as ripe for the taking at top lane.
The hilarious thing is, he had a ward, and meanwhile bottom, Pokestyle going straight onto Dax. Will he get the kill? I doubt it, but at least he's forcing him to go all the way around, which is always irritating for a support.
He has a ward in his items, but he didn't use it, which is really strange.
There, however, and just insta-gives him with that combo from the Q&E, and there was nothing he could do about it, didn't even see it coming right around that corner.
Indeed. So Galio is going to pick up that kill onto Nunu. We're just going back to Shen again. I was surprised because, as you say, he did have a ward in his inventory, but he didn't even use it. He just opted to go check the bush himself. He just used his taunt as well. So he was flat out of escapes. So really, really strange play from him. But either way, I just noticed that his flash hasn't been used either.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Perhaps he thought he was going to die regardless and it would be a waste? I'm not too sure.
I mean, it makes sense. The tether landed and the Ignite was down as well, but I feel he could have escaped from that, especially if he just watered the brush. He kind of hesitated, he thought about it, and he stayed in front of the bush, I guess, to see if Nocturne would react if he was there, and he didn't come out, so he thought, oh well, he must be safe, and walked into it and died. So, it didn't quite work out for him, but he will be warding right now.
Yeah,
and I think they've realised.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
Definitely the case. Bot lane, some more harassment. This time coming in from Zuom, actually, from Candy Panda and Dax. Of course, one of the great things about taking Kennen AD is that he has the Lightning Rush, so he can reposition himself, he can close the gap very, very quickly. Trying to harass Pucky style. Here comes the Ice Blast from Nunu as well. And Galio with an early 2-0, so he's going to be really, really scary, actually, in that mid lane. It'll be difficult for Morgana to shut him down at this stage. She has just landing a Dark Binding, though, but she's not going to follow up on that one, reason that Kelva is a tiny bit too strong right now as it stands.
Both of those champions were complete bricks in lane. It's like, how are you going to kill a Galio? How are you going to kill a Morgana? It's just incredibly difficult. And actually, Dota Pro looking for the gank on bottom, but did not come to fruition. And I don't want to sound like a hit here, but I was playing AD Kennen before it was cool. And the amount of things that Kennen has over many other AD carries is kind of outstanding. Like, he has the increased range, it's 575, more than most AD carries, 550, which Ezreal has. And we could potentially see a little skirmish here.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to be going in here with Galio pop off the ultimate, though. He has been locked down from a dark binding, then an unspeakable horror. So nice conjunction between the two of Moma and Dedrian, making sure that Idol of Duran did not come out on the playing field. But job done, actually, there for Team Acer, because they picked up the blue. They stole the blue. That's all they went in there for. They managed to do it.
And this was quite clever with the Kennen AD pickup, because basically I assumed they were probably going to do Kennen top, but it wasn't going to work out because they knew they had that massive CC team, and they thought, okay, we'll take Olaf, we'll put Kennen bottom. But that still works really well, because he can use that Slicing Maelstrom as a defensive ultimate, and of course that aggressive comp are going to find it very difficult to actually get near him without being stunned beforehand. That's something they need to be wary of. Also, AD Kennen is really strong. He usually should max his Electrical Surge first and then probably go into Lightning Rush, and that's kind of a lot of resistances, a lot more than people expect. And if you double tap that, you basically get plus 50 of each defensive stat in a trade, and you've basically lost one auto attack for it. It's extremely strong. It's stronger than True Grit actually, and people really underestimate that.
Yeah, I mean, thus far, as you're saying, he's going to max out Electrical Surge. He's took 3 points in that and 1 in each of the rest, so definitely looking to be going that way. Going to be rejoining the bot lane again, but here comes Nocturne alongside them. There is a ward in that bush. Beautiful ward coverage right there from Team Ace. They knew exactly what was on the way. Going to push back instantly, and Pucky Style, adding insult to injury, will just tag up Dedrian as he's trying to recall. He's going to go in again, doing it once again. Dedrian's like, screw this, I'm just going to go back here instead. You can't keep doing this to me. So yeah.
It'd be funny if Ezreal had his ultimate and he literally just ultimated just. I mean, great.
Not hoping to get a kill on Recoup Sword just to annoy Dedrian. That is definitely the way to go forward. Epic troll would be epic, but that's not really the case. Candy Panda has taken a lot of harassment there from Pucky Style, who actually is a level above Candy Panda thus far. Pucky Style did go back to spawn, picked up 2 longswords, so going to have Doran's Blade and 2 longswords doing a lot of AD damage at the moment. How is Kennen looking? He actually went for the early Berserker's Greaves and also the Doran's Blade. Now that makes sense, of course, because of the Mark of Storm, and at top you are going to have a bit of harassment again from Olaf and Shen. But yeah, I mean, the early Berserker's Greaves on Kennen, it does make sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. And just going to back off here. Moma potentially caught by Dota Pro. I think he should be okay. I mean, there's no one really to follow up on it. Yeah, and there's Dark Binding. So meanwhile, top, Profana popped his ultimate basically. Ragnarok was popped. So now is a perfect time for a gank basically.
Of course, Ragnarok is down. That's a lot of his. Oh, Taunt did just miss from 760. That was a hair's breadth away. But Profana will be happy just to push back to his tower. Currently level 9, there's another 55 seconds left on Ragnarok. Dragon is going to be going down from Team Acer in amongst all of this. And you do have the Stand Unite up for Shen, so he can suddenly teleport down to the rescue if it so calls. But doesn't look like we're going to have any confrontation here. As by and large, I'm going to go back in the meantime at top lane. I'm going to have a lot of damage being put down onto Profana. Can Shen catch up with him? Don't think so, especially now that Moma is going to be pushing up towards that top lane. Could get caught out in retaliation though from Kellever, who does land a Resolute Smite. It's not going to be enough to jump on top of it though, and that's going to remain the 2-1 scoreline. So a much slower paced start to this game than the previous one of number 1 game, where we actually saw a lot of kills going down quickly.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, Candy going straight onto Pucky Style along with Dedrian and Dax following up as well with the Ice Blast. There it goes down. The Candy Panda not in a great position. He will be finished off. And Super Days along with Salovic now coming down. He does have his ultimate and ultimate coming down from Shen as well. Wombo combo and it will be finished off and straight onto Jax. Dedrian not in a great position for men versus 1 in a rock and a hard place. In between a rock and a hard place. Cheetah Will goes down, blocked by the spell shield. Now chasing after. Can they get this? They just need to slow him down. One more cheese wheel. Tether goes down onto Dota Pro, stopping that from happening. He will be slowed, looking for the taunt. Misses the taunt. Nice juke. Still chasing after Dota Pro behind. looking for the kill. Another cheese wheel, ground pound, resolute smite, and will be finished finally by Vorpal Blade.
Yeah, I don't
Longest
think
chase history.
he was never going to survive that one without any mana, without his flash up and everything else. But I don't think the between the rock and a hard place has ever been as apt as when you're getting chased off a Malphite and Shen alongside a Galio. That is definitely apt for that kind of situation. And he goes down 5-2 now. As I was saying before, it's been a slower paced action. Well, there we go. Sudden burst of flurry. And 3 kills have gone down. It's going to be the mid tower as well. Surely be picked up very soon. Only 82 health points remaining. The minions may actually finish this one off or not. It's going to survive on 43 health. So one more hit and then it's down.
Someone literally just needs to seize on that right now.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, mid-Moma, straight onto Saliver, pops that ultimate. There's nothing he can do. Flash goes down, but he's going to fall anyway. Oh, can he finish him off? Just needs another auto attack. Flash, auto attack, and there's the finish.
Yep. So Morgana will get the upper hand onto Galio, who hasn't been back for a long time. There you go. Abyssal Scepter has been finished off outright. And he still has 775 gold left at his disposal. So he's been playing it very nicely so far in this game. Nunu going to be going up, dropping down that ward into the Tribush. But will Malphite actually be coming in for the gank? Dota Pro has just recalled. He's picked up a couple gold for 10 items, Philo Stone, Heart of Gold, and also Chain Vest alongside Ninja Tabi boots, of course. What you'd expect to see is he stacks so well off armor, and a pink ward has been dropped in the Tribush there from Soraka, who is going to be taking that one down with complete ease. So nothing to really write home about so far, just both teams trying to pick up the creep score while they can. You have to see the No Magic Mantle built on Galio, so probably going towards those Mercury's Treads next.
Something very interesting, a red was just donated to Pokistar, but not only that, he's decided to itemize Brutalizer, so that will give him increased early game damage with the cooldown reduction as well. It doesn't really build into anything useful for him, but oh well. And meanwhile at top, they are trading off.
They are trading off again, but Shen does not have his tower to go back to. In the meantime, at bot lane, you're going to have Nocturne jump again, so let's switch over there. Will Pokistar be going down? The ultimate from Galio and Nunu, sorry, I should say, was popped, did a lot of damage, but they actually don't pick up any kills, and now the hunters become the hunted. As Dedrian's going to try his best to escape. He gets crunched down as well from Malphite, and that was actually a 2-for-0 exchange. Wow, how in the hell did that just happen? I thought that Pokistar was going down without a shadow of a doubt, but he just manages to keep himself up.
Really well played from the team, basically. They just managed to zone that out, and it was kind of interesting. Candy Panda with the Dax combo wasn't as strong as I expected it to be. I mean, he got almost a full absolute zero off, and it wasn't enough damage to really do anything, along with Candy Panda's ultimate, who should have been locking them down. Oh well, I guess that's not just as strong as they expected it to be, and I expected it to be.
I definitely think that Soraka had a huge hand in keeping Pokistar up there. The heals are coming thick and fast. Wish is on cooldown, so it was burst, it was burnt, and that bot tower will be getting dropped. Of course, the epicness that is Pulsefire Ezreal will be going back alongside his support. So what's he going to be picking up? Last time we saw a Sheen getting picked up first and a BF Sword. This time Brutalizer was finished off first. Phage, Sheen, and now a Dagger. So of course Dagger is one of those components of Zeal. Perhaps we are going to see a quick Trinity Force getting completed. On the flip side, how is Kennen looking to build his? Well, the answer is Madridge Razors and also the Vampiric Scepter, so more than likely going to be going into that Wriggles Lantern. Any thoughts on the Wriggles Lantern build first for Kennen?
Oh, at the moment, Acer 76 actually just going to go ahead and back off, and the gold item on Kennen... Sorry, what did you say?
He's going to go for Wriggles Lantern first, I think.
Oh, right,
What's
yeah.
your thoughts on that?
That's pretty standard for AD Kennen, basically. A lot of power lies early game, and Wriggles Lantern gives you early game power. What more could you want? And that's basically what he wants to be doing. That's a very standard build. He gives him the armor, gives him the survivability to kind of get up close and personal with that ultimate as well, because he wants to be sort of close range. He starts starting to trade off against Pokistar as well, and forced to back off.
Wow, did he come out? Oh, ultimate does come out there. The True Shot Barrage did kind of tickle Dax, if nothing else, and right past him. I think he was looking for the kill onto Candy Panda, to be honest, but it was a blind shot. Tried his best to land it, not to be the case this time. Either way, did enough to push back Candy Panda. So in those exchanges, I mean, Candy Panda is really coming out second favorite, second best every single time, because Ezreal is so tanky right now with that early Phage and the Astral Blessing that Soraka pulls in on top of that. But you do see Dedron lurking around. Ultimate has been popped off alongside the Slicing Maelstrom as well. All kinds of damage being put down, but here comes the return fire from Malphite. Shen ulti in amongst all of that as well. And for the second consecutive time, a team fight that looked to be going the way of Zaum suddenly backfires on them. They have picked up the first kill onto Nunu. Nice soul shackles though from Morgana. Will claim the kill onto Malphite. 760 going really deep here with the tower dive. But he is now going to start to push his way back. Soraka should be getting dropped off, but beautiful idol of Durand comes out from Galio. Doesn't do enough to save Soraka, and he in turn will be going down alongside 760. So I am not too sure about that tower dive. It seems to be a tiny bit too risky, which didn't pay off in the end. Pucky Start will be arcane shifting through the blue wall and should get back to safety. But this is going to leave Dragon open for Zaum.
Yeah, they got a bit too cocky there. It was like, we've won the first game and let's just punish them as hard as we can. And it just didn't work out that way. And Edge were looking for a potential steal here. Just a bit too late. But yeah, they were just, I don't think they were quite through it right there, but they let them get back into the game basically, where I think that was probably a solid victory if they just played it safe, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I love aggression as much as the next guy, but maybe that wasn't the time to go all-out aggression, you know, on the tower. They are ahead, well, they were ahead before that, they still are, you could say. I mean, they're, 2k ahead, and a lot of their characters are very tanky, so it made sense that they would think to go for that, but maybe a tiny bit prematurely. Maybe give it another minute or two if you're in the same situation, then go ahead. Either way, they did get punished at 9-7 now, and they gave Zaum a bit of a lifeline, a bit of a glimmer of hope. Morgana has that Zoni's Hourglass, such a good item for her, of course. Her Soul Shackles does continue to burst off while she uses Zoni's Hourglass, so she'd get right up in your face, pop that one off, and be pretty much safe while doing so.
Yeah, at 18 minutes diving an inhibitor turret.
Yeah.
It's a bit, but definitely. Interesting enough, Celiver every single game, actually, sorry, meanwhile bottom.
Yeah, we are going to have two ultimates popped off again, but a tiny bit wasted. Unstoppable Force does come in from Malphite, who always seems to be in the right place at the right time, taking down Nunu there. And Prothana's doing all kinds of damage onto Pucky Star, but it's not going to be enough to take him down. Could be going himself. Yes, he will. Candy Panda now is being chased after 4 players. Here comes Keliver. Seismic Shard has been landed. True Shot Barrage lands in the backside of Candy Panda, and Galio will be picking up that final kill. Dota Pro eats a Dark Binding for his troubles, but here comes Standing Out from Shen. Beautiful play from him. Will they take down Moma as well? Looks more than likely to be the case. Indeed it will. Shen coming in, taking the honors of the kill onto Moma. And that's going to be 13-7. So again, Acer's team comp really coming off good.
Yeah, that was great. And Nunu looking for blood. Come on, Dax. Not enough man mode. But
Yeah.
Dota Pro is just, that was a great ultimate. Perfect timing, in the right place at the right time, basically, for that one. And did so well. Great punish. And that's basically, they just put themselves in the same position they were about 2 minutes ago. So they have to
just
pull them
like
back.
his spidey senses are always tingling at the right time at bot lane. Every single time his bot lane's in trouble, there is the unstoppable force from Malphite just crushing faces. And again, that was no different. Nunu and I think it was, yeah, Candy Panda popped his ultimate alongside Nunu, so they had double ulti going off, and then suddenly out of nowhere, unstoppable force just smashes Dax in the face. And from there on in, it was only going to go one-way traffic, with Team Acer cruising down the highway, 13-7 the scoreline after 21 minutes. It was about 1k goal difference, 2k goal difference before. It's now opening up even further at 5k.
Yeah, Moma chose an interesting time to go in with practically no mana against 4 people. It wasn't going to be one of those amazing ultimates where you're fed enough to do that, and it was kind of just like an extra kill, and she just gave that kill away. It was very interesting. But also, interesting enough, I'm going to say interesting a lot here, but every time Celiver plays an AP like this, like Galio, like Morgana, like Henan, always takes the Abyssal Scepter, no matter, almost like first item, if not second item. And they always go for these sort of double AP combos as well. And it seems like they always want to end it sort of mid to just the beginning of late game. They don't want to get it to late game, and they want that sort of flat armor, flat magic pen to try and drag them through that.
Oh, Unstoppable Force alongside the True Shot Barrage doing so much damage to Dedron. He's going to go down in a heartbeat. Idol of Durant used from the Kelva. Is it going to be enough to take anyone down? Here comes Double Ultimate once again from that bot lane of Candy Panda, and Dax doing a lot of damage but not getting any rewards thus far. Olaf will go on towards Galio. Here comes the Stand Unite from Shed, but it's going to get taken out instantly. And Pucky Star very nearly finishing off Moma, who's on 38 HP. My god, you are a lucky man. But he will manage to pull himself back. So that was at the end of the day, a 2-for-2 exchange, with a lot of ultimates being burnt in the process.
That moment was calculated. And there goes the ward. But
Never in doubt.
no, always pro play, always calculated, always, even as 1 HP. But they will be pushing down this mid turret right now, and yeah, that was a very interesting fight. Candy Panda had the AP AD carry syndrome, as I like to call it. He thought he was an AP, and he went in and wasn't auto attacking for a lot of that fight.
Oh my god. Speaking of Candy Panda, he just got melted from 760 alongside Pucky style. Here comes the pincer movement from Kelver from the side. Taunt did go in from 760, but the Black Shield was up in time from Morgana to negate that process. So nice play once again from Team Acer, catching players off guard. Now, Prothana is going to also get caught. Will he be going down? Sorry,